Good to come back here and meet my brothers and sisters again and to share. I always have this feeling when I do the worship here that it's like God is here and he's just waiting to hug somebody. It's that kind of intimacy, that kind of closeness. God really loves all of you so much that he just can't wait to hug each one of you. That's the feeling I got just now. Let me show you my first slide. I guess this is the month for family, in fact. This is the National Family Festival month. The government, the Ministry of Social and Family Development, there are many activities, and I would encourage all of you to take full advantage of all the activities that are going on out there, especially those of you with children. Now, this is not my family. I don't know any of them. I just thought that, since I'm going to talk about, family, so Google search, then I thought family. Then all the Ang Mo faces, okay, Asian family, So this is Asia, right? This is Singapore. Whenever we take family photos, it's always very happy, right? And then we take family photo, we put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook. But I guess we know the feedback is very strong. Yeah. We know that life is not always smooth. Sometimes it's a roller coaster, up and down, and we will go through turbulence. I guess recently we have read in the papers, in the news. We don't even know what hit us. Just bang, and then we hit ourselves against the ceiling, against the wall. It's like, wow, what happened? How did this come about? So the topic that I wanted to touch on this morning is, how do we build a strong family that will outlast every storm in life? There will be storm. Trust me. I'm sure, the older I get, the more I realize that. And the more family members I have, I've got so many siblings, My parents gave birth to 8 of us. Sometimes I see, oh no, this happened to this. Oh no, my sister. Oh no, my brother. And of course, and then I myself. So how do we outlast every storm? Not going to be easy, but I think there are some tips that I want to share with you. Actually, I already give you 5 points. Usually a 3-point sermon, but give you 2 extra. Because I think we need a lot of tips in order to outlast every storm. I thought first thing, maybe we do a bit of exercise. Let's go back to as far as possible when we are little boy, little girl. What do you remember about your mom or your dad? For me, when I did this exercise some time back, I closed my eyes and I started to go back to when I was a boy, and many scenes came back. For my father, I remember I was just very young. My dad worked in the shipyard, Keppel shipyard, came from China. So by working in the shipyard as a welder, he raised up the whole family. And I remember the scene that happens quite often is I will walk a distance out from my house. I will wait at the road whereby all these men wearing the overall, and when they walk past you, they will smell like grease, because they work in the shipyard. I stay in the staff quarters, and whenever the siren sound, that means the shift is over and the workers are going home, and many of them work in the shipyard, so they come to the staff quarters, and I will wait, whenever the siren sound, I will very excited, Daddy is coming home, Daddy is coming home, and then I said, one by one, they will walk past, and then the last person walked past, oh, Daddy didn't come home. What happened? You see, my father loves to work shifts. For us, in the workplace, if your boss asks you, can you stay back an hour to work? I said, no. My dad, if he's given the chance to work another shift, he'll be so happy because that means extra income to bring home. Then for me, I say, Dad has to work the night shift. Then I will go back home. I'll be very down because I'm really looking forward to my dad to come home. That's the scene for my dad. But for my mom, different. I close my eyes. Whoa, I remember, she will be outside the house about 6 p.m. because we go out to play, right? Because it's dinner time. Then she will come out and shout, Ayong ah! The whole neighborhood will be wondering. She wants the children to come home. And then my sisters, my sisters older than me, my second and my third sister, say, hey, Jason, you want us to bring you out to play? When mommy call her, you must go in first. You know why? Because my mom was holding the cane outside the house. Then my sister, you go first. You say you go first. So I will run, and then my mom will chase after me, and then my sisters will then from behind they go home. and chase after me. Where will I run? I will run under the table. There's only one table in the living room. So run under, why? Because my mom quite big size. So she will... But still can get because the cane so long, short cut now. And then I go in a horse, I come out a zebra. So these are my memories. So what are your memories? Okay, this we're going to do. Just 1 minute. Everybody close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Go back as far as you can and allow the memories to come. Some may be happy ones. Some may not be so happy. It's okay. Let it come. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you can open your eyes. Later, when you go back home over lunch or tonight's dinner, share, okay? Share with your family members. If your family members are not here, you ask them what came to your mind. Okay, how many of you have happy memories? How many of you have also not so happy memories? Have, How many of you got caning? Oh, yeah. Champion. Okay, why did I do the exercise? Simple. Let's say 10, 20, 30 years down the road, you all like me so much, still invite me to come, and then your children all grow up, right? Those in the, in the children's Sunday school, whatever. And then I ask them, okay, close your eyes. Think about your childhood days. What would your children think about you? Would it be happy memories or not so happy memories? So, why I did this exercise? Because I think we can decide today how we want our children to remember us. If we want our children to have happy memories, we need to create those memories for them to think about us. When my dad was 87 years old, more than 10 years back, he was having cancer. He lasted only 2-3 months. And every night, because I was taking care of him, every night when I walk past his room, there will be a lamp, with a light shining on the table, and he'll be seated next to the table, and he'll be looking at 2 books. What are the 2 books? The Bible, because he's preparing himself to see his Maker. The other book, when he turned, and he'll be smiling. Then he'll look down, then he'll be smiling. What is the other book? Photo album. And I believe I have created some happy memories for him. And he created some happy memories for himself. And now that he's not around, I will look at the same photo album and I will also smile. Because he has left some happy memories for me. In life, when they come to the end of life especially, all we have are just memories. And I pray that we will create those happy memories for each other. For our parents, for our spouse, for our children. And since this is the month of June, school holidays, how do we create some happy memories, especially for those of you who are parents? Well, okay, I start with this. Indoor activity. You can do all these fun things. So my son is very active. I have to keep him occupied. Indoor not good enough. Must go outdoor. And take leave. Do that. And of course, special occasions. Celebrate birthdays. Father's Day coming, celebrate that. But I can tell you, this is boring, okay? You know why this is boring? Because 1-year-old, 1 candle, 2-year-old, 2 candles, 3-year-old, 3 candles, 4 candles, 5 candles, 60-year-old, 60 candles. Which birthday do you remember? So there was one time I heard a speaker. He said, you need to make it special so that people can remember I said, okay. So when my daughter was 6 years old, final year in kindergarten, going into P1. So, major transition, no? So got to do something special so that she will remember her kindergarten years, right? So I met a friend who sells helium gas. So I thought, helium gas, balloons float up, So instead of a happy birthday banner pasted on the wall, that's boring. You must lift the happy birthday banner up with balloons. So that's what I did. And at the same time, I woke up at 5 a.m. I think, so I'm pumping the balloon and then put all the balloons on my daughter's ceiling so that when she wakes up, she can see the balloons, right? And happy birthday banner. Now, if you want to lift up the banner, you need to wake up at 4 a.m. It needs a lot of balloons. But of course, I get my wife and say, wife, come help, no time, Sarah's going to wake up. And finally, my daughter woke up and saw all the pink balloons on top of the ceiling. And also this, okay, sorry. And also this, of course, happy birthday, Brandon. So, as she grew up, I said, Sarah, which birthday do you remember? She said, that one. Which one? That one with the balloons. I said, wow. No, I feel good, right? Wow, created memories for her. Okay, then when she was 17 years old, I remember, I still asked the same question. Sarah, which birthday you remember? And then she said, Dad, stop asking the same question. The same one. The same one. Okay. Then I realized, I cannot just depend on one special birthday. Must create new memories. So, well, I'm going to show you what happened. So, on her 17th birthday, I decided that, okay, I'm going to surprise her with a cake. So we had dinner. After that, went for ice cream. And I want to bring the ice cream cake out to surprise her so that we can take photo. And guess what happened? There was this group of army boys seated at one corner. They also brought out the birthday cake. Surprise! They sang happy birthday song to their, all the crew cut army boys. And then there's this 2-3 families on this side. They also brought out a cake. Surprise! Happy birthday, I said, mine's the third cake, no more surprise. So I said, God, how, And so God gave me the idea, serious. Something that I would never have imagined I would do. It's like, the voice said, go and ask these boys. They are also 18, 19, 20 years old. Ask them to help you bring out the cake. Give them permission to sing to your daughter. So I went there, I said, hey guys, I'm the dad, that's my daughter. Pretty, right? I'll give you permission. I said, okay, you want to serenade to her? No, I'll give you permission. It's her birthday, can you do this? Do me a favor, please. I said, sure. Wow, they get so excited. Weekend come out from army camp, nothing to do, so very excited. So they brought it out. And, I managed to record it on my phone at that time. So let's watch this. Can you click on the video? So after that, of course, I asked Sarah, okay, if you want to do this, make sure you tell the people who sing the song, give them the name of the, they sang and happy birthday to what. I have to shout Sarah, And of course, nowadays when I ask her, Sarah, which birthday you remember? Then she will say, that too. Of course, now not my responsibility to surprise her. It's her husband's job already. So I would encourage all of us, let's build happy memories. Not just for our children, but for our parents. Because at the end of life, that's what they have. Looking at photo albums. For your spouse as well. The second point I want to make is be there for each other. Be there for each other. I mean, I don't know about you, but, you go to work, stress, you lose a deal, the stresses of life. And when we come home, we really want to come home to a place where there are people waiting for us. Do you know when I was working in the prisons, people who go back to crime go back to drugs. The research actually shows that if there's no one at home waiting for them to come home, more likely they will go back to crime and drugs. Well, again, let me talk about my daughter. When she was 18, by the way, she's already 29 years old this year. This is going to 29, in fact, this month. So when she was 18, she wrote this to me. I really am an expensive kid, not in terms of money, but in terms of a lot of time. But you've always been there. When I needed a friend to share things with and whine to after floorball trainings, my daughter whined a lot. A shoulder to cry on after really hard days, a chauffeur to keep my rides entertaining, a food delivery man to keep my tummy happy, a clown to cheer me up, a preacher to remind me to stay close to God always, and Daddy to be my pillar of strength. Thanks for being at my beck and call. I know I owe you a lot. Promise I'll get that automatic wheelchair for you. If you ever need one, You know what happened was that she remembered, I think some months before this, we were at the wet market and then I saw, usually I see people using hands and roll the wheel, right? But I saw, wow, electric one. No need to use hands, can press button one, joystick. So I told my daughter, next time, if I ever need one, you give me the electric one, okay? Don't give me the hand one. So she remembered. If we are there for our family, they will be there for us. If we are there for them, they will be there for us. So be there for each other. Now, I must say that I have a big family, and I remember my daughter. Okay, let me talk about my daughter again. When she went overseas 4 years to study, I couldn't be there for her. But you can still be there for each other even they are far, far away. So one time, she messaged me. She said, Dad, can I FaceTime you? Can I FaceTime you? I can sense the urgency. I said, sure. So in those days, no Zoom, no WhatsApp video. It's only FaceTime. So FaceTime, and then I saw her, don't know how many 100 kilometers away from me, and then she said, Dad, got spider in my room. My daughter very scared of insects one. So I said, what can I do? By the time I fly over, the spider probably dead, right? Then she said, Dad, what do I do? I said, I thought every floor there is someone in charge of the whole floor, right? No, you can run to the guy, you can knock on his door and ask him to come and help you catch the spider. I said, okay, but you don't go away, You don't go away, You don't leave me, You don't leave me. I was like, no, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to stay here. I was in Singapore and she's in Australia. I said, yes, I'm going to stay here. I said, okay. And then, she draws comfort just by looking at me through the screen and said, Daddy is with me. Of course, in the end, the guy came in and killed the spider. Not just spider, but there'll be sicknesses in the family. Sickness is always tough. My dad had lung cancer. I remember I was with him for the 2-3 months looking after him because by then my mom passed away already and I brought him to hospital and he was having all the tests and the blood tests. And from a very strong man, father raising up 8 children, I saw a very weak. And he needed me to be there because the wife was no longer there. And for the first time, and I'm now looking after him, we need to be there for each other. Not easy. But that's what God wants us to do. Let's watch this video.
我教你画
That's the reality of life, is that not every home is a happy home. In fact, some don't even have a home to go back to. But we still need to be there for each other. In the Bible, it says that let me see the slide. It's not just being there for the family members that are in our home, but what about those that are outside the family? There was a time a single mother reached out to me via my Facebook page. And when I received the message on my Facebook Messenger, I said, So I asked a couple of questions, what about your uncle? What about, is there any male role model figure in your son's lives? She said she tried, just didn't quite work out. So she has two sons at the time, Set 1 and P5. So this was 5 years ago, 2 boys. A few years before that, husband, family violence, there was abuse, there was anger. So the parents divorced. And so this single mother had been raising these 2 children. I think not easy. One of them suicidal, the other one dropped out of school. And so I thought, okay, I have to come into this family since she already tried different avenues. And the first thing I did was not talk about their problem, not talk about why you're so, always misbehaving, why don't you obey your mom? And instead, I just bring them out to play, be the father that they never had. And I still remember at the bowling, because why I kept that photo, because I was trying to find out their relationship with the father that left them. But I didn't want to mention the name of the father, So I said, when was the last time you came for bowling? When was the last time you went bowling? Then they look at each other, they talk. They said, 5 years ago. Then I joined the dots. Okay, correct. Because 5 years ago, the father left them. And then I thought, okay, let me ask, who brought you? And then they look at each other, and then one of them said, that monster. I was like, okay, I better don't ask anymore, because it will bring back very painful memories. So we had a good time. And then, of course, went to the beach, did things that they probably never have done before. And then I brought them to the big playground in Sembawang, because they stay in the north. So when I saw the playground, I also want to play. So I ran, So the swing was big enough for an adult to go in. Right? So I jumped up, I started to swing. And then the older boy came to me, and then I said, want to take over? Then he looked at me and said, I don't know how to swing. Now, he's Set 1. I said, okay, I can understand why your dad was never there to bring you to learn how to swing. So I said, you come up, okay? Then you turn around. So he was standing in front, I was standing behind. I said, okay, close your eyes. Bend your knees. Then I started to swing. And after a while, he turned around and said, okay, you can go down. I know already. Getting the momentum, right? So I came down, then he called the brother up. So I took that photo, because I taught the older boy how to swing, and he taught the younger brother how to swing. Being there for each other is not just about our own family. If you have the capacity, be there for someone outside your family, especially within the church family. Religion that God, our Father, accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress. In another passage, His name is the Lord, a father to the fatherless, a defender of widows. In God is His holy dwelling. God sets the lonely in families. We all say church is a family, right? The family of God, the family of God. Well, I pray that every church can be a family for the orphans and the widows. Be there for each other. The next point is forgive others. There will be occasions where, I wish I'm born in a different family. I wish I don't have this father. I wish I don't have this son. There's a story in the Bible that all of us know, a father and 2 sons. There's a younger brother and older brother, remember? The younger brother squandered everything, ran away, of course, came home in the end. but there's also an older brother. I realized that in every family, or in even every church family, there will be the younger brother and the older brother. The younger brother is always, I've sinned, I'm not good enough, I'm terrible, I'm not worthy to be your son. Then there's the older brother. What's wrong with him? How come I have this kind of brother? How can you forgive him? Right? Because the father forgave the younger brother. But it's the older brother that said, I don't want this kind of parents. I don't want this kind of children. I don't want this spouse. It's like, it's the elder brother thing. I'm better than someone else in the house. So the older brother in us will need to forgive. Need to forgive. There was a time, I can tell you, my younger brother was like, in and out. I was like, my parents, how can my younger brother do this to my parents, right? And then one day the Lord spoke to me. Because I was having this conversation with God, he should be punished. In the story, I think it should be right, for the older brother to consider, how can he come home and then straight away you celebrate? Wow, fatten calf lah, put the rope on him lah, what the ring lah. Don't you punish him? You didn't even scold him. No scolding. How can it be? Somebody done wrong should be scolded. Should be caned. Yeah. How come no punishment? How come this father is like, too good, impossible. I cannot be like him. And so I was like, God, that's true. Even in the prisons, commit crime also got caning one, no? Lock up in the prison, no? How come this prodigal son story don't have? So I kept looking, I was looking. So where is the punishment? Where is the punishment? Where is the caning? Where is the caning? I found it. You know where? When the father ran towards the son, brought him home, one of the first things he said to the servants were, kill the fattened calf. For us, we think it's celebrate, right? Of course it's celebration. But realize, an animal was sacrificed. There was blood sacrifice. In the olden days, when there's sin, when there's punishment, you take the sin and put it on the innocent animal, you slaughter the animal. There must always be punishment. There is always sacrifice. And then the Lord said, Jesus has been caned, has been whipped for our sins. That's why this story, the father can forgive the son because he put all the sins of the son onto the animal and it was sacrificed. That's why we do Holy Communion, isn't it? Our sin has been washed. If our sin has been washed, my wife's sin has been washed, my son's sin has been washed, my father's sin has been washed. And if God can forgive, I can forgive. So from that day, I look at my brother very differently. I say, God, you have died for him. You have sacrificed for him. Who am I to say that he needs punishment? So let us forgive each other because a sacrifice has already been paid. And we need to forgive ourselves. The younger brother, when he came home, he said, I've sinned against you. I am not worthy to be your son. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Make me a slave. That's what the younger brother said. He's not worthy to be a son. He feels that he cannot forgive himself. I was telling pastors that just now before we came in at the level 2 office, I said this is my 60th birthday in January. So in the run-up to 60th birthday, early part of January, because my birthday was later part of January, I was like, wow, 60 years, Jason Wong, not bad, what have you done? So I was like, I went for the beach, I was walking, I was like, just reflecting on my past 60 years. Oh, not bad, like Yellow Ribbon Project I did. Wow, that's for life I also did. I obeyed God, I chung for God, And then that lasted only 3-4 minutes. The 5th minute, 6th minute, what came was this. My regrets. The things that I did not do. The things that I have failed to do. The things that I didn't do so well started to flood my mind. Give you one example. I never spent enough time because I was so busy, right? Wow, Yellow Ribbon. I actually didn't spend enough time with my children. Even though I spend, again, I think I probably spend more time with my children than other fathers, but to me, I could have done more. Give you an example. Because my wife and I work dual income, so I want to send our children to some of the better schools and kindergarten. Let's go to this kindergarten because they have very good programs. You know, the problem with that, those kindergartens that you have to pay a lot, they have a lot of programs, which also means that they always say, hey, parents, we have a sports day, parents come. Hey, we have this, parents come. We are both working, cannot go. Lor. So one day, there was a sports day in the school. Then the driver was very nice because the driver will pick a few kids, right? So come to say, oh, you cannot go. Don't worry. You have video camera or not? You have a camcorder or not? I will help you to record so that you have the memory. So that is the next best thing, right? At least we record, right? So give him the camcorder. Good. At least he helped us to record so that we know what happened to our daughter. You know, after I actually kept the video, and it was a few years ago that I took it out and I watched because I knew that I didn't spend enough time. So after I watched, you know what happened? I saw the part whereby they have a three-legged race. So they have a parent and a child, three-legged race. And then when they 1, 2, 3, go, and also all the parents and child go, and then the camera didn't move, the camera go like that. My daughter was there, one person standing there. And I could see in her face, that broke my heart. So maybe the moral of the story is don't send them to too expensive kindergartens. And then my younger brother, I was in national service, I got a scholarship, I got a girlfriend at that time. I have no time for my younger brother. He dropped out of school, he joined a gang, he took drugs. And even though for many years I was like, why did he do this? Then when I reflected back, maybe I didn't do enough for him. There was this regret. You know, in life, there will be regrets. There will be disappointments. There will be failures. Even Jason Wong has it. What do? I have to just be like the younger brother in the prodigal son story, come to the father and say, I'm sorry. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I've done a lot of things, but in these areas I have failed. I can't change. I can't rewind the clock. I wish I'd been a better son, but... And of course, the Father will forgive. And if the Father can forgive, we can forgive ourselves. Lastly, be still before the Lord. Storms will come. Turbulence will come. Sit down, belt up, don't walk around. Right? And that's, this is what the Lord taught me. Be still. Because sometimes I'm so busy, I rush around a lot. I try to achieve many things in the limited time span of my life. And then end of 2022, so 1.5 years ago, I was like, wow, 2023 coming. God, what do you want me to do this year? I want to chung for you, So I was like getting ready to chung. You know what happened? One morning I woke up, it's like just 26th of December. It's like the final week I was preparing for the next year already. My head started spinning. I got up, I went to the washroom, my head started spinning. I quickly go back to my bed. I sat down and just held myself. It's like my body wanted to throw myself onto the ground. It was that bad. Wanted to vomit, couldn't vomit. And then when my wife came back from the market, and then she saw me and I might have, then she said, are you having a heart attack or a stroke or whatever? I said, I don't know, I'm just having cold sweat. So sent to the hospital, I was hospitalized, and they diagnosed it was vertigo. Vertigo seems to be quite a common thing, but that was my first time experiencing it. I was spinning. So by the afternoon, I know how to control the spinning. Basically, it was like, just look this side. The spinning will stop. I look this side, it will start turning. It's like that. I said, okay, I keep looking this side. I did not even lie down because it will start spinning. Now, I'm like that. When something like that happens, I will ask God, is it from you or is it just by chance? If it is from you, you allow it to happen, that means you want to speak to me. So what are you trying to tell me? So I basically spent the next few days doing that because the doctor said cannot drive. So after 1 day hospitalization, I went home. And then I searched on the Google, I searched, you see the top left, vertigo. Bible. What does the Bible say about vertigo? Of course, Bible say nothing about vertigo, but you will find all these things. And then I was like, on the first page, I saw Psalm 377 archives. You know what? My spirit jumped. Do you know that for those few months before that, I was doing 377A? You know, the government repealed 377A. I was having a lot of conversations on that. So I saw, Psalm 377 archives is 377A, right? It's like, God, it's like, what are the chances 377A is there? So I zoom in, I click that one, and it came out Psalm 377. You know what is Psalm 377? I show you, Be still before the Lord. And it's like God saying, there will be spinning, turbulence will be coming, not just in your life, in Singapore, in the nation. What is the secret to respond? The secret is, the only way to stop the spinning is be still before the Lord. I said, okay, God, teach me some more, tell me some more. And then verses like this came, John 15:5. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me, I in you, you will bear fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Even Jesus has to be with the Father, because apart, there is no fruit. So for us, we need to be still before God and don't allow the spinning to distract us. Because once we are outside of God's will, we have no fruit. We cannot stop the spinning. We cannot stop the turbulence. And then there was one thing the Lord told me to. God reminded me about guitar tuning. Those of you who play the musical instruments, if you play very hard, a lot, it will go out of tune. If you leave it there, long time never play, it will also go out of tune. So when guitars or musical instruments are out of tune, how do you retune it? For the guitar, in the past, of course now you have the smartphone, you can tune all the strings at the same time. But in those days, you only buy one tuning fork. Which tuning fork? To tune which string? E, right? The bottom string. So the bottom string is called the first string. So there are 6 strings. The bottom string is, we call it the first string, and you just buy the one tuning fork. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, you tune the first string. And after you tune the first string, you use the first string to tune the second string. Use the second string to tune the first string, correct? The third string, right? And then the Lord spoke to me, Jason, you are the first string. If you are not in tune, your marriage will be out of tune. Your children will be out of tune. Your family will be out of tune. Your church will be out of tune. Your community will be out of tune. Everything that you do will be out of tune. So you are the first string. Make sure you are in tune every day. I was like, whoa, that's what Jesus did, right? Jesus, the Son, doing the Father's business, he's always going to the Father. He always talked to the Father before he ventured out to do things. He is always aligned. Abide in me, me in you. Apart from me, you can. So I said, I got it. Be still before me so that I'm always in tune. I'm not disturbed by all the spinning and all the turbulence and all the turning, because I'm in tune. When I walk out of that throne room, I can tune everything around me through the sound that comes from heaven. I say, okay, I got it. So at the end of the exercise, at the end of 7 days, exactly 7 days, I walk out, I was able to drive, I was able to do my things. I said, God, I learned already. I think, okay, nothing else, right? You don't want to tell me anything, right? Then I like, better write down all these lessons, right? So instead of writing point by point, I was led to write a poem. Not bad, I can write a poem. So this was the poem. I am ready to cheong, he said, be still. I want to go, he said, come. I want to start execution, he said, wait for me to act. He said, don't look at your enemies, look at me. He taught me that only when I am still, then I can still the storm. Only when I am calm, can I calm the raging sea. Only when I have peace from him, can I bring peace to the world. For he is our peace. Do you remember what I said, abide in me and me in you? Only when you abide in me, then you can see much success. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Everything was going out of control too when I was on earth. But I always go to the Father. I in him and he in me. I'm always aligned, always one with him, always in tune with the abiding in him. So, Jason, before you chong, be still. Before you go, you come. When I finished writing that, I could walk out of my house and start doing things. And the Lord had been reminding me, the storm will come whether in your family, in your work, in your church, in the things that God has assigned you to do, the storm will come. I think one of the key things that we can do is to be still before the Lord. Then we can outlast every storm in life. Let us pray. Let us stand and